reached nuclear equivalency, that they could kill the entire U.S. population, are 29 cents a person. That year, President Nixon went to Fort Detrick and announced a unilateral end to this kind of research, what they called dual-use research, research that was for vaccination and also for military purposes. He then persuaded over 180 countries to sign the Bioweapons Charter in 1973. That basically ended gain-of-function research around the globe until 2002. In 2001, after the anthrax attacks, we passed the Patriot Act, and the Patriot Act had a provision, a little-known provision in it, that said that although the Bioweapons Charter is still in effect, and the Geneva Convention is still in effect, U.S. federal officials who violate it cannot be prosecuted. And that relaunched a bioweapons arms race, and that was driven by gain-of-function research. In 2014, 3 of those bugs escaped from U.S. labs, and President Obama declared a moratorium on future use, and instead a lot of that research was moved offshore to the Wuhan lab. And it launched bioweapons arms race all around the country, all around the world, so that China's engaged in it, developing all kinds of weapons using AI and CRISPR technologies that are really devastating. Russia is deeply engaged in it, Iran and many other countries. It's a kind of weapon that always has blowback. There's always bad news. And the justification for this kind of weaponry was, and these kind of research, was always that we have to do this, to develop vaccines to counter a future pandemic. In all of the history of gain-of-function research, we can't point to a single good thing that's come from it. And today I commend President Trump for his courage and his vision in ending U.S. bioweapons research. And Jay, I'd love you to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, Jay,
sure. This is a historic day. The conduct of this dangerous gain-of-function research, which aims at taking pathogens and making them more virulent, more transmissible in humans, many scientists believe is responsible for the COVID pandemic. The conduct of this research does not protect us against pandemics, as some people might say. It doesn't protect us against other nations. What it does is there's always a danger that in doing this research, it might leak out just by accident even, and cause a pandemic. Any nation that engages in this research endangers their own population as well as the world, as we saw during the COVID pandemic. This proclamation makes it so that most science is actually poses no threat to human populations. The vast majority of science will go on under this as normal. But the fraction of this research that has the risk of causing a pandemic, harming every single person on the face of the earth, we're going to put it, this proclamation, this executive order puts in place a framework to make sure that the public has a say, that if such a risk is being taken, that only scientists alone won't be able to decide that. That in fact the public can say, no, don't take this risk. And I'm really, really proud to be here with President Trump, who's signed this order, ending this research, and for the first time putting in place a real regulatory framework to make it go away forever.
So it can leak out like from Wuhan, and a lot of people think that. I think I said that right from day one. It leaked out whether it was to the girlfriend or somebody else, but scientists walked outside to have lunch with a girlfriend or was together with a lot of people, but that's how it leaked out, in my opinion, and I've never changed that opinion. So it can leak out innocently, stupidly, incompetently, but innocently, and half destroy the world, right?
That's right. That's right, Mr. President.
Mr. President, there are, I think, 3 leaks on BSL-3 and BSL-4 labs, our highest rated laboratories, almost every week. There's no laboratory that does this right. There's no laboratory that's immune from leaks, and this is going to prevent those kind of inadvertent leaks from happening in the future and endangering humanity. The COVID outbreak cost 20 million lives and cost the world at least $25 trillion. And this the executive order is a precaution against us being involved in that kind of research in the future.
That's great. Very honored to do this. Marty, what do you have to say?
It's unbelievable to think the entire nightmare of COVID was likely preventable. And you had good instincts early on, Mr. President, in suggesting it came from the Wuhan lab. That is now the leading theory among scientists. It was 5 miles from the hospital where it first broke out. So it's crazy to think that this entire nightmare was probably the result of some scientists messing with Mother Nature in a laboratory with technology exported from the United States, that is inserting a furin cleavage site. So I hope this does some good in the world, Mr. President. Thank you for doing it.
Anybody
थैंक
have
यू
any questions?
वापस
on
आइए
that?
वापस आइए ये फर्स्ट हैंड अकाउंट आरएफके के द्वारा, जय भट्टाचार्य के द्वारा और मैकिनरी के द्वारा, और फिर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप खुद कह रहे हैं कि मैंने कभी अपना स्टांस चेंज नहीं किया, मुझे यह मालूम था कि वुहान लैब से कुछ लीक हुआ है जिसे कवर अप करने की कोशिश हो रही है। आरएफके ने कहा कि 25 मिलियन लाइफ हमने खोए हैं पूरी दुनिया में और 25 ट्रिलियन डॉलर का नुकसान हुआ है। ये आरएफके का कहना है कि 25 मिलियन लोगों को हमने पिछली महामारी में गंवाया है और 25 ट्रिलियन डॉलर का नुकसान हुआ है। आप कल्पना कीजिए पूरी दुनिया में किस तरह की तबाही की गई। इसलिए मैं आपको यह कह रहा हूं, लेकिन यह खबर आपने भारतीय मीडिया में नहीं देखी, कोई चर्चा नहीं कर रहा। मुझे नहीं मालूम कि वो क्यों नहीं चर्चा कर रहे हैं, क्या कारण है जो नहीं चर्चा कर रहे हैं। उनमें उनको क्यों लग रहा है कि कोई फंस जाएंगे? लग रहा है क्योंकि इन सब ने उसके दौरान जो समझौता किया था एक खास गैंग के साथ, उस गैंग को आरएफके ने, जय भट्टाचार्य ने, साइंटिस्ट मैकिनरी ने और डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने, सबने एक्सपोज किया है। दूसरे साइंटिस्ट कह रहे हैं कि साइंटिस्ट ने मदर नेचर के साथ बलात्कार किया है, डेंजरस पैथोजेंस का रिसर्च करके ये तैयार किया जो एक प्रकार का बायो वेपन था, मास डिस्ट्रक्शन